the only signature scent that men need. There are so many fragrances out there these days, it can be kind of hard to figure out which ones are, the best, worth buying. I've compiled a small list that I think kind of captures what is the fragrances that work the best, that are most important, and smell the best. And as always, all the fragrances that I mentioned will be available in the Amazon associate links down in the description below. I'm going to start with a very, very attractive fragrance. It's actually unisex, but definitely bordering more on the masculine side. This is Ambre Nuit from Dior. This is, again, one of my absolute favorites. Obviously, from the name, it's an amber fragrance. And that's pretty much what you get. It's very resinous, warm, has a kind of faint note of Turkish rose in it, and also lots of spices. So it's kind of an exotic type of fragrance. It's kind of going for that far-off land type of smell. It is very warm, very long-lasting. Longevity is about 8 hours, could be even up to 9 hours, depending on, how you put it on, what you're doing. Definitely more of an evening fragrance rather than a daytime fragrance, or a cold weather fragrance, just because it has that very intense warmth to it, and that sort of thing. You definitely don't want to wear this in the middle of summer, but nice and mysterious, nice and kind of seductive, and again, great performance as well. Downside is kind of expensive. It's part of Dior's kind of more luxurious fragrance line, but if you're looking for something resinous and heavy and mysterious, this is a very nice option. Now, going to something completely the opposite, maybe you prefer fragrances that are more refreshing and sharp and clean, then I would say Xerjoff 40 Knots is another very, very nice option. This is primarily an oceanic, aquatic type of fragrance. Very, very ocean-esque. It has sea salt notes, it has citrus notes. When you smell it, you could tell it's definitely like that sharp ocean breeze. Plus the citrus, it's super, super fresh. Ideal for the summer when it's really hot. You want to wear something that will cool you off, keep you refreshed, all that. That will definitely be accomplished with this 40 Knots. Now, because it is a lighter fragrance, longevity is not great. It's probably around 4 hours, maybe 5. But it becomes a more intimate fragrance pretty fast. However, it's, you could always reapply it throughout the day. But the smell alone is just very refreshing, it has a prominent cleanliness to it, without being synthetic, because sometimes these types of fragrances can get really synthetic really fast, but it manages to keep its more natural sense to it with those ocean notes, the citrus notes, the sea salt, that sort of thing. So again, definitely good for the summer, for those who are looking for something more bright and fresh and watery. So if you want something really, really heavy, then I would say from Serge Lutens, you can go for Ambre Soutin. So this is kind of similar to Ambre Nuit, but more hardcore. This is an extremely masculine, extremely just like rough, I guess, and firm. More of a mature fragrance, very rustic, or rugged is the word. This is all resins. So while Ambre Nuit from Dior, that has the amber, the resins, but it's smoothed out, a little bit with the rose note, with the spice notes, that sort of thing. This is almost pure resin. It has the amber itself, it has some myrrh. I always say it smells a little bit like frankincense as well. There's just thick, smoky resin. So this is really, really intense with that resin, because there's not too many other notes in it to really smooth it out. So this is definitely something super mysterious, a little bit smoky. Obviously, you got all the resins in there. Almost exclusively an evening fragrance, just because of its intensity. Although you could definitely wear this during the daytime in very cold weather, because it is super warm. But yeah, definitely very rugged. Not for everyone, just because it's so intense. Really good longevity though. About 8 hours, probably around 9. But yeah, very, very nice for those who want something really intense. Very, again, masculine and rugged. You can't really get more masculine and rugged than this here. Now, if that's too intense, then you could go to something that's still, you know, warm and kind of heavy, but not too crazy. I would say Creed Royal Oud. Oud is a very luxurious, very nice type of note. This fragrance is very nice for formal occasions, you know, going out to a nice dinner or whatever. Now, the oud in here, it's strong without being too strong. Because some oud fragrances are just, you know, really out there, really crazy with the intensity. This is more smooth, more toned back. Longevity even is on the lighter side, around 6-ish hours. They're very natural as well. You really get those woodsy notes in there. So this is, again, more of a natural, more subtle type of fragrance for those who want something warm and just a little bit rugged without going full on, you know, hardcore mode. Now, this is from Creed, so this is going to be super, super luxurious, super, you could just tell that it's high quality. Now, it is expensive because it is from Creed, but again, it's more of a special occasion type of fragrance, more of an evening type of thing. So, definitely very nice for what it's meant for. Now, one other one that's nice for something that's more subtle, nothing too crazy, and also more on the unisex side of things. You could always try Remember Me from Jovoy. This is one I discovered more recently. It's quite nice. It's actually a type of gourmand fragrance, so something that smells something, you know, related to food. I find that it smells very much like tea. Like a strong black tea mixed with a splash of milk, along with some spices. There's some ginger in there, there's some citrus, that sort of thing, some wood notes. But again, very much like Earl Grey tea or chai, you know, it has that kind of dark, leafy spiciness mixed with just some smoother notes. There's actually a milk note in there mixed with a tea note, so it is very accurate to what it's trying to do. But this is very nice for those who, again, don't want something too crazy or too intense. Maybe you want something with just a touch of sweetness and that's more subtle and very, very smooth with a little bit of warmth and coziness. But that, you know, you could find all that in this one. But that is pretty much my list for, you know, very, very nice signature scents for men. There are, of course, you know, the obvious choices I could have mentioned, the Dior Sauvage, the Bleu de Chanel, but I wanted to go for some choices that were a bit off the beaten path. So hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, of course you could leave a like, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.